Welcome to the Wisdom Lifestyle Money Show. I'm your host, Scott Dillingham. The goal of the show is to show you how you can grow personally, financially, have a larger net worth, and leverage your largest asset to help you develop the person you want to be. I take you through all the steps I did from being nothing to being told that I was nobody and I was never going to accomplish anything, from getting kicked out of high school to owning a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio in my own company with more than 20 employees. You'll meet our partners, you'll meet our friends, and you'll quickly discover how you can improve your life. So listen in and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Wisdom Lifestyle Money Show. So today I'm going to talk to you about how I earned a $3 million client. Now, that might sound funny, and I didn't make $3 million off of him. It was a $3 million mortgage, but I earned him with my answer. And the answer that I gave to him, though, has completely changed my life. So I'm going to share the behind the scenes, what that answer is, what it means, what I do, and how it will help you to improve your life. And maybe you'll get your $3 million client. I had this client, he was looking around for a mortgage, and he told me I was like the seventh person he spoke to. And he's building a $3 million home, which is obviously a substantial home. Now, mind you, keep in mind, this is about 3 years ago. So now it's probably a $6 million home because of the values of everything. So just to give you some retrospect there, but yeah, so it's about 3 million. And he goes to me and I've spoken to all these other brokers and lenders. Why should I choose you to build my $3 million mortgage? And I was shocked because I wasn't expecting that question. And really quickly in my head, almost like when you're about to be in a car accident, how you see everything in slow motion. It was like that. I had all these thoughts going through my head, but it was all in a split second. And I was thinking I could talk about how we have some of the best rates. I can talk about the good service I do and all these other things. And I was going over everything. And the answer that came to my head was because I exercise. And it even shocked me that this came out. And I'm like, thinking back at it, I'm like, I can't believe that was my answer. But he stopped and he was like, he paused and he was curious and he's like, what do you mean? Because you exercise. And I explained to him that maybe a year ago at the time, so 4 years ago now, but when I was speaking to him, it was a year ago. I'm like, I was always tired. I didn't enjoy what I was doing. So I needed to change the bank I was working at to opening my own mortgage office. But I wasn't healthy. I sat down all day and I explained to him that I discovered how exercise changed my life. It improved my weight. So my weight went down. I look better. I have a lot more energy. I'm healthier. My brain is crisper. I can think better. And what that translates to in my business. And I explained how now my memory is so much better. I'm happier overall. And that happiness translates into better service. I just went into it and I kept going on. It was about two minutes of describing this to him and how because of exercising, it changed my life so I can be better to help him with his mortgage. And that sold him. He moved forward with me and got the mortgage with me. And I looked back at it and I'm like, that's really impressive because you wouldn't think an answer like that would win somebody over. But when you really look at the core of what exercise can do to you as a person, the benefits are huge. I'm not a health fitness instructor. I have no education in this. So I'm going to talk about this for a little bit, but just know this is from my own experiences. Everybody's got a different body and everybody has to follow different nutrition guidelines. But one of the first things that I did when I knew I wanted to be healthy was I just started off with a multivitamin. Now, I would not recommend because I tried a whole bunch of them. The processed ones, I don't really recommend. I recommend something organic. And the reason for that is they use real ingredients. They're not processed. And I had a bit of stomach issues with some of the processed ones. But once I went to the organic vitamins, it completely improved me. And I would say not only did I feel healthier, but it gave me more of a passion and a drive to improve because you could feel the goodness going into you when you take these really good vitamins. So that's the very first thing I did is I decided one day, you know what? I'm a bit overweight. I'm not happy with how I look. I want to have more energy. Going up a flight of stairs, I don't want to be panting, and I'm going up them slowly. I want to run up them. And taking the vitamins gave me the inspiration to move forward. And then what I did is I started to run. Now, it's super important that when you have a fitness goal, and doesn't matter what level of fitness you're at, do not set big goals. I'm going to work out every day for an hour. I'm going to do all this stuff. It really doesn't work. And what will happen is you'll get into it. Maybe you'll do it for a couple of days, but then you're going to discover that it's very hard to maintain that deep intensity workouts day after day. Obviously, you have to have rest days in there, but you're going to find you quickly lack motivation because it's extremely hard. So, my suggestion to anybody who's been considering working out is go just a little bit. Do that little bit of a workout. I feel really bad because I forget the book that I read, but I read this book and the guy said that he lacks so much motivation to work out and he runs as well that all he does is when he wakes up in the morning. Now you can do your workouts whenever you want. Some people like in the morning. I do mine at night after I put the kids to bed. Everybody's a little different, but he said instead of saying I want to run 5 kilometers today, because that was his real goal, he just said to himself, I'm going to run or do a light jog past five of my neighbors' houses. So that was his actual short target. The big target's the 5K, but he set that target. You know what? If I don't do the 5K, oh, let me just run the length of five or six houses first. And if I really decide that I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to turn back around. So what got happening is once he got to that fifth or sixth house, his heart rate started to increase. And once that blood gets flowing and you raise that heartbeat, it actually feels really good. So once that happened to him, he had that motivation to do the 5K. But when he first put on his running shoes, he had no motivation to run the 5K. He just only had enough motivation that he said, I'm going to run five houses. So that is what I do encourage anybody who wants to get started into exercise. And that's the mindset that I took too, is just get started. Do that little bit, that tiniest movement. If you're moving in the right direction, it'll build on and you'll move and improve as you go. Now, it's also proven that a habit, whatever it is that you want a habit to be, you need to have this habit completed every day for 60 days. And then it becomes hardwired into you, right? That's why so many people drive to work and they don't really know how they got there. It's because they do it so many times that your body does this on autopilot. So if you make something a habit in your life, then you're going to want to do it all the time and it's just routine. So I do encourage you in the very, very beginning to do really light exercises, even if it feels like you're not working out. What helped me was just getting that routine and knowing that I needed 60 days to make it a part of my life and something that I would remember to do and all the time. So I needed to do 60 days. So I needed to make my 60 days easy so I didn't give up. So I just did a very short speed. It was probably the speed of walking, but I was doing the jogging motion. And that's how I got started. Now, in the very beginning for me, I had a bit of injuries. I had shin splints and sore ankles and my knees hurt, but I made sure that I didn't overdo it, that I did things very little at a time until it became routine. And what naturally happened to me, and this is where everybody's different, okay? Choose your exercises wisely and don't necessarily follow this. But for me, I kept pushing forward. And right, so I'm in my low 30s at the time when I'm starting these exercises. And what I've noticed now is my bone density from doing these workouts is so good that I have no pain, no injuries from doing a jog, or if I do run, and it'll be about 5K that I run. There is no injuries. Now, I have to take a quick pause, but when I come back, I'm going to continue some of the things you could do to get started in exercising. I'm also going to dive into some of the benefits that a lot of people don't realize, but that you will receive from being more actively fit. Welcome back. So before the break, I spoke about how I ran and I started off and I followed the author's advice. And I'm so sorry. I feel so bad that I forget this author because it was a great book and I'm sure you'd love it. But he ran five or six houses first. That was his motivation. There's also this saying, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. That's how you eat an elephant. So the same thing with your workout. Now, I chose running. You can do anything. There's rowing machines, right? There's bikes that you can ride indoors. Anything that you want to get started off on, I would do it, but I would do it for a short amount of time. I would not try to target those long workouts because you are going to overdo it in the beginning and then you're going to lose motivation. That's what happens is if you overdo it, you lose that motivation. So now that I've been working out consistently for 3 to 4 years, on my end now, I want to push it harder because what happens is this is when you exercise and your heart rate goes, now it might be different per person, but the average is between 110 beats per minute to 130 to 140 beats per minute. That's the fat burning zone. So if your goal is to be more fit and to lose weight, you need to maintain that heart rate. So what I've read online and fitness instructors I've spoken to, they said a lot of people do not, when they walk, to walk around the block or whatever, if your heart rate is not elevated, you may not actually be doing much to your body. It might not change. You could just be burning calories from the meal that you ate and nothing is changing for your body. So you got to be in that heart rate zone and you have lots of benefits in that zone, right? So you're going to get the fat burning ability. You're going to have better cardiovascular strength, right? Your veins are going to strengthen, your heart's going to strengthen because it's not a fast beats per minute where you really start panting. In fact, when I am jogging in the fat rate zone or fat burning zone, I could actually breathe through my nose. I don't have to open my mouth for air. I can still do it all on through my nose. So it's not super intensive, but you're in that zone. What also happens is cortisol is known as the stress hormone. And when you get your heart elevated into the fat burning zone, at least, your body will release endorphins, which will naturally cancel out the cortisol stress hormone. So if I'm ever really stressed, or a bad day, like whatever the case may be, I will literally just exercise and it completely turns my mood around. So you have a switch, you have the ability as a human to make yourself happier on demand by doing a brisk workout. So it's really cool. So definitely start off with something that's easy that you can do. I might even recommend 10 minutes. That is something that I do to this day is no matter how busy I am, no matter what's going on, I've got to at least do a workout for 10 minutes. And what I find with 10 minutes is it doesn't really strain you. So it's not like you need a rest period because you're only doing this for 10 minutes. The muscle that you work out is not going to be completely dead the next day. So I found a combination of using for my 10 minutes, I've got an exercise machine which has a horizontal bar with a seat on it that goes back and forward. So I hook up all the weights and I do a leg press. So there's a bar at the back, I put my legs on it, and then there's a belt that goes around me, and I sit on the seat that moves forward and backwards, and I kick off with my legs. So it's like I'm rowing, but I'm doing it with my legs. I could put a bar instead and use my arms for that, but I don't. I do something different. So I use the leg press. I have a rowing technique. So I'm getting half of the rowing exercise down. And then I take some small dumbbells and I curl. So each push back, I curl up and I flex when I get to the top of the curl just to give it that little bit of extra push for your workout. And doing that in 10 minutes, it really gives me a nice workout. It's super quick. So it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can get this done. It's 10 minutes. And I found this to be the best workout for me. Even when I couldn't go to the gym or do those long 5K runs and I want to still lose weight and maintain a high metabolism, doing this quick, easy 10 minutes, it doesn't overdo it, but I feel the benefits all day long. So you really don't need much time. Now, after the 60 days, though, once it becomes routine that you want to work out, this is where you start to increase intensity. Because after the 60 days, you will actually like working out, you'll feel the benefits. When there's a day, there's actually not a day that I miss. It's super rare. But let's say I do miss working out, I actually feel it. And I feel like I'm more agitated those days. And things upset me or piss me off earlier and easier. If I'm working out, I'm a really laid back person, so I don't get stressed out or upset very easily. And it's mainly because of working out. But yeah, so back to the 60 days. So once you pass that, you're going to want to increase the intensity because now your body is used to being a little bit more active. You have more confidence in your workout abilities, you know where you are, and then you can start pushing it to the next level. So I would go to maybe a half an hour workout. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't want to go to the gym for COVID or you're not able to go to the gym for whatever other reasons, there's programs online that you can search. And I don't want to solicit any on here because that's not what this is about. But you could just Google like online workout classes and you can find them. And they have complete body workouts with just your body weight. You can use an ottoman, like all these things that you have at home. So you really don't need a gym membership to get a good workout. But I would try to make your workouts from the initial maybe 10 minutes, something nice and easy to half an hour at this point. Now, if you're going to work out for half an hour and you're going to do a lot more physical, getting into push-ups and sit-ups and squats and those types of things, you're going to need rest days. So you can't work out every day. So you got to find that light workout that you like to do just to keep your heart rate up and get the good benefits of working out. So you got to do those light workouts on those rest days. I never have a fully rest day. And again, speak to a fitness instructor or doctor first before you follow this advice. I'm just explaining from what I learned and researched and what I spoke to. And whenever I do dive into something, I check all angles and try to research as much as I can. So I'm not someone who just, I'll read one article and that's it. I know everything. I'm not like that. I heavily research, but still, I'm not a fitness instructor, coach, teacher, none of that. Check that out. But for me, it works well to do something very light and easy on my rest days. And then the other days, you work out, lift weights, run, whatever it is that you want to do. Now, another really cool thing with working out is naturally you may have the you may have the impression of looking at the scale and seeing if you're losing that weight. And I encourage you not to. You're going to be gaining muscle mass, which weighs more than fat. So your number on the scale may not be going down. So what I encourage you to do is to measure yourself every couple of weeks so you can actually see the size shrinking down. You'll start to notice you fit into clothes that were too tight before, even if your weight is the same. And a lot of people, they look at that scale and they'll get discouraged if the number's not going down, but you have to realize you're burning fat and gaining muscle. Your weight could actually increase, but overall you're getting smaller. So I wouldn't truly look at that scale number. I know we're stuck on that as a society, but don't look at it as what does my body look like? What is my body doing? And by starting off small, like I said, the first 10 minutes going to half an hour. And then if you're really into it, go for an hour, you will see that you change everything in your life gets better. Your relationships with people get better. You have more confidence. You're happier. You have more energy. I even sleep better that I'm taking those organic vitamins. So I'm getting everything that my body needs if I can't fulfill it with my diet. I've also discovered that I can eat more foods now. Before I could eat foods and I would feel like I was gaining weight and getting bloated. But now that I have all these extra calories that I burn, it actually does allow me to eat more foods, which I love to do because with my line of business, doing mortgages and meeting with realtors and clients and stuff and doing lunches and dinners, I eat out a lot. So this, because I work out so much, I can afford to do that now. Where before, when I would eat out, you could see it growing on your hips, right? So it gives you a lot more flexibilities in life and you really will feel better. You're going to perform better at work. It's crazy to believe how just a little bit of exercise will improve your life. So I hope the advice I've shared today helps. Again, I always recommend you speak to your doctor about this because I'm not licensed to speak about this stuff. But from my experience, this is what I went through, the things that I did, and it's been an incredible journey. And I hope it is for you too. Looking forward to chatting with you next time. If you're serious about real estate investing and you want to take it to the next level with the least amount of time and mistakes, then you're going to want to sign up for our Real Estate Investor Hub. Visit CanadianRealEstateNetwork.com and hit the blue button or banner that says Free Investor Resources. Inside, you'll have access to real estate investing courses, networking opportunities, webinars featuring industry professionals, as well as dedicated chat channels to share and get access to unique properties. I look forward to seeing you there.